This is Backstage with BadBrad, episode 60. Now, people who have tuned in of late to this video, I normally start off with a jam. But I want to state something, and I'm not sure everybody is aware. But Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead, legendary guitarist, lead vocalist, Bob Weir is dead. Bob Weir has passed away. I think he was, 76, 78. Moderators out there, if you get a chance, look it up, man. Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead has died. And I want to start off by talking about Bob Weir because this is serious stuff, man. This is serious stuff, and I'm glad to see my moderators here, Paul and Mike H, and Dave here with the wrenches, and everybody. Let's be kind. I've placed Bob Weir, rest in peace, in the title of this, so maybe we can have some people come in and talk with us about that. Yes, Bob Weir, the legend of the Grateful Dead, has died. I just saw it on Twitter when I was over there right before I started this video. He was 78 years old. Yeah. Let me speak on Bob Weir, and I'm not a Grateful Dead aficionado. I'm not like a Deadhead, but I am a fan of music, and I have watched the Grateful Dead documentary. And Bob Weir, in my eyes, I know Jerry Garcia was like the soul of the Grateful Dead, but I always thought Bob Weir was the heart. And Bob Weir was the, shall we say, heartbreaker in the band. He was the ladies' man of the Grateful Dead. He was the one good-looking guy in the band. Imagine being Bob Weir and all of those half-naked, young ladies of the 70s. And Bob Weir was that guy. He was that guy, and he had a very unique playing style. Bob Weir, I think it would almost be easier to emulate Jerry Garcia than it would be to emulate Bob Weir. He was just his own unique player. Yes, Mike Gates, that's true. Bob Weir, and Bob Weir even talked about it. He was the good-looking guy, and he'd wear shorts, on stage. And back then, women like to look at your legs and all that kind of nonsense. But he was a great chord man, Joey. Yes, thank you for saying that. Bob Weir was a really unique rhythm player. And man, for some reason, dude, just a couple days ago, I was thinking about the Grateful Dead, and I was thinking about the song "Good Love," right? And it was one of those songs that I would always have to play if somebody requested the Grateful Dead, even though it's not really a Grateful Dead song, but they were known for playing that song. And it's one of those songs that I don't think I ever learned it. It was one of those songs that it was in here, and I could just play it and sing it and all that. And I was thinking about how much fun I had playing that song, and yes, Mike Holmes, you are correct. The Grateful Dead were a traveling party, and me and P-Funk can attest to the kind of dudes that would roll into Hollywood when the Grateful Dead were in town. Yeah, he wore those Magnum PI and the Larry Bird shorts. Yeah, and it worked for him. Look, man, when the Dead came to town, dude, it was a party. It didn't matter whether it was Williamsburg, Virginia, or Los Angeles, California. When the Dead came to town, there were a lot of people out there doing that, partying. And, back in the day, we used to party too. Yeah, man, this is really kind of mind blowing. And again, Bob, we're not like a Grateful Dead channel or anything, but this is a music channel, man. And the Grateful Dead, dude, are, you can imagine the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, the Grateful Dead. Those are the big names, man. Those are the cultural shifting bands. And I can totally see why John Mayer wanted to play in Dead and Company. I can totally see why that would be, being the lead guitarist in that style of band. Dude, it's got to be a high all its own. The Grateful Dead, they would have nights where they were absolutely horrific, and they were have nights that were magical. And I'm sure people that are fans of the band can tell you, hey, you got to check out this bootleg. I mean, dude, that kind of thing that the Grateful Dead did, the jam band ethos, that needs to keep going, man. And who's going to what young bands are carrying on the jam band, magically horrific, Mike H. Who's carrying on that tradition at this point? I'm gonna have a toast to Bob Weir. Wavelength says Allman Brothers. Well, the Allman Family Revival that tours, they're carrying on that tradition, playing those old songs. But I'm talking about a new young band. Billy Strings would be a good guy. Widespread Panic, but Widespread Panic has been around for a long time. P-Funk says Corey Feldman is starting a jam band. Dude, Blackberry Smoke, every time I seem to hear Blackberry Smoke, it seems like I always hear them playing a cover song. I'll tell you guys a story from the road. We were once set to open for Eric Church at an arena gig, and I think this was it was Northern Kentucky or somewhere up in that area. Or maybe it was Indiana, somewhere, some town like that. And it was a big arena gig. Well, we were on the bill, and I'm not sure if Blackberry Smoke was opening for us or we were opening, and then I think Blackberry Smoke was supposed to play first, Colt Ford, and then Eric Church. And I remember being backstage and hearing, I was the only one hanging out in the backstage area, and I remember hearing Blackberry Smoke. I didn't meet any of the guys, but I remember sitting in the backstage room, and they were practicing Can't You Hear Me Knocking by the Stones. They were literally practicing Can't You Hear Me Knocking, and it sounded good. It sounded totally good. But what ended up happening that night is shortly after I'd heard them play that song about 5 or 6 times. Shortly after I heard them play that, somebody came in the dressing room and said, "Gig's canceled tonight." And I'm like, "What? What the hell?" And you know what? It ended up happening. Here we are. We've got a bus. We're in this town. We're supposed to play an arena gig. You're wound up. I remember I had my stage clothes on, the full gorilla hair. I had the beard. I was ready to play after Blackberry Smoke. I was ready to give them hell, right? And then they announced it's canceled. Eric Church had a laryngitis or something, and we had to. We decided. Mike H is asking, did we still get paid? What ended up happening is I think the band's tour manager went across the street. We said we still want to play, and there was a bar across the street, and we did an impromptu. This place wasn't even like, they weren't used to having something like that, but we played an impromptu acoustic show in front of a packed club. Imagine all those people who were there for the concert, and we're in this club that's maybe holds 200 or 300 people. And we dragged our acoustics out of the trailer and went down there and did like 5 or 6 songs. It was packed, and we were standing up because there was like it was like a wooden barrel, what do you call it, Lincoln logs in front of the stage to keep the audience away. And we were literally like, I had my foot on one of the Lincoln logs, and there's like people hanging over the thing, and they're drinking, and we're drinking and all that. And dude, we ended up having a rager on the bus after that show, dude. Probably it was wilder than if we'd have played the arena gig. If we'd have played the arena gig, then it would have been a much harder load out and load in and all of that kind of stuff. But because all we had to do was walk down the street with our acoustic guitars, go in, just rage, play a club that's just, they wanted to see a concert. And what they got was us. Well, here it was like a free show. But I think they said, management said, oh, we'll pay you half if you guys go across the street and do this thing. And it was kind of like, dude, we're here. When you get that close to a show, you're dressed, you're drinking your Pepto-Bismol, and now maybe you're nursing your first beer or whatever. It's time to go. It's time to play. Now, here is Bob C. saying, the Grateful Dead played Las Vegas in 1995 before Jerry Garcia died. I worked on the Strip, and those deadheads were foul, drinking, starting fights with people. In 1995. Wow. In 95. By 95, I was already out of California. Del Noah, ever play any bar gigs where a big fight broke out a la Roadhouse? Well, not as ridiculous as those Roadhouse fights. I mean, those Roadhouse fights are like choreographed. The whole bar's fighting. I've definitely seen my share and been in my share of dude punches another dude, and then people grab and you get separated, and security comes and the guy through the punch gets thrown out. So Sweet Blue Telly is asking, is that a Vega trem? No, it's just like a brass block regular trem. So yeah, I mean, dude, if you're playing in bars, you're gonna play, and there's gonna be fights. It just is. Yeah, Bill is saying that the Grateful Dead's crowd changed a lot in the late '80s with In the Dark success. Yeah, or what was Touch of Grey? Touch of Grey for the Grateful Dead brought them to the mainstream. If you can imagine having a hit that late in life, and it's a shame that Jerry just couldn't get clean. Thank you, Scott Dunn. Thank you, Scott Dunn. Watched the Great Super Strat video today. Thank you so much, man. A lot of these revelations I have in videos. Jason Patterson is saying, do you hit hard? If I need to, yes. But here's the thing, man. Most of the time, a lot of times when things square off in a club, I'm usually able to not have to throw down. You're better off, dude. I'm not a trained MMA fighter. I am a guitar player. So I know I need this. Wow. Touch of Grey was 45 years ago. Slow. That is incredible. That is incredible. Um, Man, I came on here tonight originally, to talk about the new Elvis movie, and I'm gonna talk about that. We're gonna continue talking about Bob Weir and the Grateful Dead, but I want to touch on the fact that Elvis Presley has a new album coming out and a new film coming out, and I think people, a lot of it's getting a lot of press. It's all over YouTube. There's a new song you can listen to. It's called Wearing That Nightlife Look. That is up on YouTube. And the whole album is coming out, dude. It's gonna be pretty epic, man. And look, the biggest video on my channel right now, the one that's getting the most plays, is Elvis is Back. That video has been doing consistently good numbers the last couple of days, and it's crazy, dude. When I saw that, oh wow, a soundtrack album for this film, man, soundtrack album. Yeah, here's the deal: the Elvis is Back video it's not like blowing up, but it's consistently doing the numbers that I really need the daily videos, the daily releases to do. But it's like picking up the slack now. It's almost like Elvis is helping a brother out. Elvis, help a brother out. Because it's the December, January, it's the slow months on YouTube, dude. It's the slow months. Everybody's got the holiday. Dude, in January, can you imagine working in retail or in a music store in January? Until those income tax checks come out, man, people ain't buying. Shh. Slow Fizz is saying, after Jerry died, we saw all the lost deadheads at an outdoor Santana concert. You can tell them by the way they groove. Yeah, they were looking for somewhere to go, man. Elvis comes alive. Elvis is in the channel. What era is the new Elvis song from? Okay, that's a great question. They combined two songs, Elvis's vocal from two songs, Wearing That Loved On Look, which is it was recorded in Memphis. It's a late 60s, recorded in a funky studio in Memphis where Elvis said that he could hear the rats running around in the attic of the studio. And then a song called Nightlife from the Viva Las Vegas album. And they combine the two hooks of those two songs, and they've made it into a new song with a new beat and it's got a cool part where it breaks down, and they've got a recording of Elvis saying, "Man, just play the hell out of it." And it's good, man. It's really good. But this film, people that have seen it, they've recently just aired it in Graceland. I heard testimony today. There was a woman who had seen Elvis 4 times, and she said going to see this new movie is like 70% of actually being in the room and seeing Elvis. So I have no doubt that the new Elvis epic movie is gonna be mind-blowing, dude. It's gonna be, because the sound is all gonna be brought up to modern things. You're gonna see the footage is gonna be dialed in. You're gonna get up close. They're gonna have all the different shots. They've got new angles and stuff that they're drawing from. And Mike, I think, look, man, I have no doubt that it's going to be a lot of gilfs. There'll be a lot of gilfs at the Elvis show. We're gonna P-Funk. We're gonna hook you up. But I think it's, and here's the thing, man. I think there's a whole generation of younger people out there that are watching all these reaction videos and watching Elvis videos, and I think there's going to be young people at these shows, but I'll be curious to see. FMP, I have been remembering Bob. Yes, I have been. Yes, indeed. Uh, oh, wow. So Wavelength says Heartbreak Hotel was recorded January 10th, 1956, the day he was born. That's incredible, dude. That's incredible. Testimony, yes. Um, so, yes, Bob Weir is dead, FMP. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead is dead. Thank you so much, Hillbilly. We're going to hit that. But look, and here's the thing. The new Elvis album, they've taken all of this live footage from two shoots that they did back in the day. The Elvis That's the Way It Is shoot and the Elvis in Concert. It's two different concert films, and they've got new angles, new camera angles. They've restored all the film. They've souped up the audio. It's going to sound incredible, dude. They've here's the thing, man. It's hard to get retro music across to the younger generation who is used to hearing the hyped up mixes with the low end, with the thumping low end and the beefy drum sounds and all that. And a vocal is a vocal, right? A great vocal is a vocal. They can isolate Elvis's vocal. They can boost the low end. They can recut the orchestra. From what I understand, they recut the orchestra and probably a lot of the background vocals because they weren't, they weren't recorded that great back then. And so I'm sure this album is going to sound amazing. I'm sure the film is going to be amazing. And again, FMP is just realizing that Bob Weir has died. And so it's crazy world. Elvis is alive. Bob Weir is dead. What kind of world are we living in now, man? This is crazy, dude. This is crazy. So I want to hear from everybody. If you're an Elvis fan, let's talk about that. If you're a Bob Weir fan, yes, rest in peace, Bob Weir. Dude, and look, I welcome all the Deadheads here tonight because we are all part of the music community. We are all partiers back in the day like the Deadhead guys. And so, man, if you guys want to leave comments or pay tribute to him, if I see your comments, especially if it's a super chat, I'll share it to the whole video. This will be up for eternity. So, yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Elvis is king. Right on, K-Dog. I appreciate you, brother. Yes, the Reaper, 78 years old. Bob Weir, way on down, way on down. Bob Weir, salute. Elvis is the man for his time and place, as was Weir. Phil, I think you nailed it. And you know what? Bob Weir was the Elvis of the Grateful Dead. There ain't no getting that. Get Brett Weir, I said. Probably 80s, my friend and I tried to call Bob's hotel room. Leanne instigating the party with Bob. What Elvis would be 91 years old. 91. That's crazy, man. How many people? What are the odds of making it to 91? Certainly with the lifestyle that Elvis led, and now when I'm hearing that people are telling me he did 3 shows a day. How in the hell do you do 3 shows a day, dude? These little candy asses these days, traveling around in a jet and going out there and lip singing. Elvis is going out there and singing his heart out. 3 shows, bro. 3 shows. That's just insane if you think about it. Wow, Christopher, his mom is 91 and a half. That's amazing. Bob Joyce. No, I don't think Bob Joyce is not Elvis Presley. He's just not. Yes, Rhonda, going to have some lettuce. Please put some ranch dressing on that lettuce, if you would. Put some cukes. Put a few cukes and a couple of tomatoes on it as well. Absolutely. So Bob Ware, man, right on. Mike Holmes. Look, we've got more in common with the Deadheads than probably any channel out there. And like I said, for anybody that wants to chat, because look, man, when your heroes die, it's like the day Elvis died and I was a little kid. That's tough to go through, man. Even if if they never knew you or you never knew them, but it's somebody that you looked up to and they died. Dude, and look, and 121 makes a valid point. I say this every time. Keith Richards is still going. Who knew, right? Who knew? But then again, dude, Bob Weir, Bob Weir didn't look like the same Bob Weir in the 70s. I mean, we all get older. Brian Marcus, why are you saying that? Here's what's going to happen. Remove. All right, that's deleted. We're not going to diss Elvis tonight, and we're not going to diss Bob Weir, okay? Because you know what? I can probably tell you this. Bob Weir probably had Elvis 45s when he was a kid. Hello from Scotland, FB Guitar. I love your channel. Thank you, dude. Scotland in the house. I'm a bit Scottish myself, and I know my accent is horrific. Yes, Sun Records, dude. I tell you what, that Sun Records stuff is crazy, dude. Listen to That's All Right, Mama. There's no drums on that. Listen to all the Sun stuff. There's no drums, but yet it's the plucking of the bass. It's like the hi-hat and the snare drum and the low end. Dude, everybody talks about Scotty Moore, but Bill Black, the bass player for Elvis, the early bass player for Elvis, and he was told, Bill Black was a showman. And most people don't know this, but in the early days when Elvis was learning how to perform, Bill Black would win over the crowd by doing tricks and straddling his bass and doing all that rockabilly, hillbilly, showmanship stuff. And he was a big part. People would go to see Bill Black. Now, when Elvis's stars started to rise, and the Colonel says, "Well, I can't market Bill Black, but I can market this Elvis kid." They told Bill Black not to do that anymore. Hey, don't do that. You're upstaging. Yes, we're gonna have respect for all tonight. This is a serious night. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna salute everybody. We're gonna salute Elvis. We're gonna salute Bob Weir. And we're gonna salute all the musicians that tune into this channel. And we're gonna be a place where we can hang out for a little bit and talk about this, man. The Jordan Ayers wavelength, the backup singers for Elvis. Dude, those guys were great. I've thought about the instrumentation of the early Elvis records and say the early RCA stuff, because that's when the Jordan Ayers came in. The Jordan Ayers were a gospel group, but Elvis loved gospel, so he wanted that sound in there. But here's the thing, man. That having those, it's like this. The guitar, bass, and drums for Elvis, whether it's Jailhouse Rock or Hound Dog or whatever, that's like Zeppelin, right? Sonically, the vocals held the place of a keyboard, like a pad, like a keyboard pad, and they would hit those ahs with those big chords. And it's like the rhythm section was that tight rock and roll thing, and then they had that pad over with those vocals, and then the lead vocal cutting through the middle. I don't. You couldn't have played. It's like perfect luck that worked. But sonically, it covers all the things. Like if you've got a rock band and it's fat and it's mid range and it's all that, putting something on top like the Van Halen harmony vocals or whatever, it just gives it that top sheen. You know, that's why Van Halen was so great. I think the background vocals were a huge part of it, man. As great as Eddie was, having that pad up front, just like the Jordanaires. Think about Jailhouse Rock, Elvis, and listen to the chorus. Hound Dog. Listen to the solo for Hound Dog and the ahs going through, the Jordanaires doing the ahs. It's Van Halen, dude. It's Van Halen. It's Van Halen. It's Van Halen, dude. Yes, und Van Halen. Rest in peace, Bob. Yeah, you know what? Bob Weir, you can't copy Bob Weir, dude. You can't copy Bob Weir. And I think, dude, it would be easier. Look, I'll tell you this, man. When I was a young kid, and I had my first, I had one teacher that was teaching me how to play solos, and he made me learn a Jerry Garcia solo. And it was like the guitar solo had all these like bluegrass things in it. See, you know, all this kind of. It had all that kind of stuff in there. I know that's the wrong sound for that, but I remember learning that solo, and it was so different than anything else that I'd ever really heard. And I still probably never heard anything quite like that, because it sounded like a bluegrass guy playing rock in a rock band. Yes, let's get those thumbs up. I haven't even been asking about it tonight. Let's get the thumbs up. John D. Deadhead. Jerry was a bluegrass guitar and banjo player who happened to play with the Dead. That's exactly it, man. And I've heard that people say his bluegrass playing was incredible. So yeah, he did chromatics. He did those little. It's like bluegrass. Do. It's all like stuff like that. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. I don't know what's going on. So you guys take care of everything. 104. We got 53 in here. Let's get the thumbs up. Need a speaker set up like the Grateful Dead. Don't we all? Don't we all? Look, man, think about that. I think back then, when the Grateful Dead would have those massive PA systems, it was an all-tube PA system. Macintosh, wasn't it? The way people hear music now, think about this. This is for everybody, and this is why it was the golden age going to see the Grateful Dead with their giant speaker system. You didn't hear not one note of digital. The PA was analog. The guitar rigs were analog. Did they use pedals? I don't think so. Jerry always had those preamps in his guitars, and those were analog. There might be a 9-volt battery in there, but it's analog. Bob Heel was the PA sound guy, yes. Wall of Sound, Owsley's the Dead Chemist, was also the sound man early on. Absolutely. Think about that, dude. Nowadays, even if I take the most amazing analog rig to, let's say a medium-sized tour, every time they mic up that guitar rig and run it through the PA system, it's digital. It's been transferred into digital. It's coming through a digital PA system. You're hearing, what's it, ones and zeros? That's what you're hearing. But back in the golden age of music, analog PA systems, dude. It was never converted. You were hearing the warmth, the tubes, everything, dude. And it's less harsh. I think because a tube compresses the sound. Yes, a tube amp is loud as hell, but I think it's a lot more soothing to the ears than a loud digital, thing. 111 in here. Yes, let's get those thumbs up. And look, I'll keep this going as long as I can tonight. My wife's in London, and it's me and my child here, and we're gonna have a good night here because this is crazy, man. I didn't think that we would have Bob Weir dying like this, and you know what? This will be my tribute to Bob Weir. This is where we're gonna probably end up talking about Bob Weir more than anything tonight because one, I probably won't do a separate episode on Bob Weir. I think the best thing we can do right now with it just being announced. I mean, dude, when I started this video tonight, it had just been released in the news for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. Let's see. Brad, off topic. I mean, ask how old you were when you became a father. I was 54 years old when I became a dad, which is pretty late in the game, bro. Fun fact, the Dead are the one that started music sharing because they let people record shows. Okay. I'll agree with they let people record shows. That creates, but see, the Grateful Dead were never a band that were going to sell a lot of records. They were a band that provided a unique experience every time you went to see them. And it was a party. Look, dude, how many people made a lot of money selling stuff at Grateful Dead shows? There had to be networks back in the day providing all those party supplies, and I'm sure lots of money was made. It was its own economy, dude. People following them around. Thank you, 121. Yes, you could say that. You could say that. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember when my wife got pregnant, and I don't want to embarrass her or anything, but someone said, "Oh man," and I said we did it the old-fashioned way. I broke out the Jack Daniels, and so yeah, that I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have a child at this age, and while it's a challenge, it's been a great thing. It's been an amazing thing. Slow says no one has come forward. Hey, and you ain't got to make no payments, yo. You ain't got to make them payments, Slow. I'm gonna have a little bit of this iced tea that I've been nursing all day. This is Milo's, dude. Milo's unsweet. It keeps me awake. Yeah, Anthony Kiedis had his first child in his 50s. Children are gifts from heaven. There's no mistake. Absolutely, Nicholas. Absolutely, man. I'm very lucky. Joey says they were carrying out the Jack Kerouac on the road experience. Milo says the bomb. Right on. Milo's unsweet. It's my go-to, bro. And I've literally got the fridge just stocked with it right now. This is. How do you think I work all day on videos? Thanks, man. I'm 45 with no family, and it's bumming me out. You make me feel hope. Dude, 45? You got plenty of time, dude. But don't just sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Get to work. Get out there, network. I mean, you know the game, dude. If you're a guitar player, dude, you should have this figured out. But you are going to have to change, right? You're gonna have to like not toss them out for eating crackers in bed. There's hope for everybody, dude. 121, you have not missed the boat at all, dude. 38, you just got to get to work. 38, look, man, I probably should have settled down at 38. But I was like chasing the dream, dude. At 43 something, I got the call to go, do a major tour. So, it's like, but here's the thing, if I hadn't have done that major tour, I wouldn't have got met my wife. If I hadn't have done that major tour, I wouldn't have these platinum and gold records over here. So Hunt and Common says, what advice do you have for someone just starting out with guitar? Just if you're just starting out on guitar, dude, learn your cowboy chords and learn how to strum them and play some easy songs, dude. Easy songs right out of the jug. Yeah. Hey, Rhonda, here's the thing. I'm the only person in the house that drinks Milos. So the Milos is free reign, dude. It's free range. Michael is funny. Michael Lee. Yeah, I'm going to try to avoid that second topic. Right hand is more important. Got married at 38. There you go, J Pat. So, look, man, for all you, look, there's hope for everybody, dude. I don't care if if you guys are 65 out there. If Wavelength is still here, I mean, Wavelength's, he's still dating, right? I regret not getting me a Japanese wife. Now I'm too old. Zortax, how old are you, dude? Come on. It's nothing is impossible in life. Yeah, Zortak, talk to Wave. You guys, look, man, the number one thing you got to do is stop thinking you're done and stop feeling sorry for yourself. Because nobody, look, it's easy. And this is everything in life, dude. It's not just dating. It's your career, all of that. You got to snap out of that. You got to get that young man mindset again. There's people that are alone right now. Think about that. 12 is saying dating apps help ruin the clubbing scene. Well, maybe the dating apps made it so you didn't have to. Look, man, if you had to go meet somebody in a bar these days, dude, you're not going to get quality. You're just not. Go to church, right? Go to the library or something. There you go. So Fender Bender is 61 and he has a 49-year-old girlfriend. See? Bing bong. I mean, look, man, there are people, if you get your shit together, dude. If you get your shit together, you'll be surprised at what happens. So, and Jeremy says 50 and single and he's happy about it. And that's the key. Doesn't matter whether you're single or married, just be happy about it. Keep your young at heart. Well, Zortax, I mean, I can't fix shit. No, Brad, I've been rode hard and put wet like a worn out horse. Well, you gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. I just, hey, at least, we're still here. I don't fool with it, Creative says. Exactly. I get lonely sometimes, but don't we all? Hey, man, the reason why, Elvis is not with us is because he'd feel lonely in a crowd, dude. Sometimes the loneliest you are, dude, is when you're surrounded by people. Once you realize that your happiness starts here, and if you can turn it there, you can get it out there, dude. If you're around the wrong people, surrounded by them, and it's just, dude, that can be the loneliest you'll ever feel. So, man, I want everybody to be happy out there, man. You know, and look, man, we're saluting Bob Weir. We're saluting Elvis tonight, and we've got 67 likes. Let's get the thumbs up. K Dog is saying a mail order. Hey, man, whatever. You know what, dude? There's somebody somewhere that wants a friend. There's somebody out there for everybody, dude. Um, yes, dude speaks too much truth for one channel. Long live Bob. That I think that's the main thing, dude. I totally at the last second changed the title of this video. Elvis is back. Bob Weir, rest in peace. When I literally minutes before I started this episode, I was prepared to, do a normal intro and go haywire and have fun, and it's like a day, a night when the music dies, when it gratefully dies, and we have to be thankful. Phoenix, Bob Weir has died at the age of 78. So that's kind of what we're doing here, man. We're paying tribute to Bob. We're talking about the new Elvis film. And we've had a few deadheads in here, and I welcome them. Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix. So Phoenix knows everybody, dude. I'm sure he did know Bob Weir. Bob Weir, he did. He really did seem like a good guy. And dude, it's a shame, but you know what, dude? He lived it, dude. He really did. He really did live it. And he did what he played the music he wanted to play. And he was good at it. He had his own style. And he had a good time while the rest of those knuckleheads in the dead were partying too much. Bob was the rooster of the hen house in the Grateful Dead touring world. I mean, he was legendary, dude. He was the real deal. Exactly, Jeremy. Recording all your live shows. Look, I had to argue this point on the road. When all of a sudden the click track comes in, and all of a sudden the backing tracks show up, and they say, okay, well now we just want you to play your solo note for note every night and yada yada. And I'm just like, why? Why would I not give the audience a little something different each night? Make each show personal. And the Grateful Dead always did that. And I think that's what music should be. It should be organic, not processed. Even Van Halen played different bits and pieces in his solos and stuff every night. Jimi Hendrix thank you for, we got somebody talking about the wig. Man, it's just, and here's K-Dog who says he was at Elvis's last concert in Indianapolis. He was great, but you could tell he was struggling physically. Speaking about Elvis and seeing an artist towards the end, I saw Elvis, I don't know, maybe it was 6 months before he died. I don't know the exact timeline, but I could tell, and I was a little kid, I could tell that there was something not right because I saw Elvis twice, and the first time he came out, it was like the Elvis at Madison Square Garden Elvis. It was that era, and he came out and he was great. I think he had his blue jumpsuit on, powder blue jumpsuit. And the second time I saw him, he comes out, and I could tell he'd put on a considerable amount of LBs, and he was sluggish, and it wasn't the same guy. And I was like, kind of going, what happened? And but I will say this: he had a song called "Hurt" that had just come out, and he sang the absolute shit out of that song, and the crowd went nuts. And he cued the band to do it again, and he sang the same complete song again, nailing the high part, the big sustained operatic thing, and the crowd went even more nuts. I never seen and Elvis. Now I realize he did that quite a bit with songs. If the crowd loved it and went nuts, you go, oh, we can do that all night, and do it again. And I'd never seen a performer do that since. Never seen somebody play something and people just go nuts. And this is a half diminished Elvis. This is a late stage Elvis. This is not like prime Elvis or Aloha in Hawaii. I think if you guys are big Elvis fans, it's like Aloha from Hawaii. Elvis had trained and lost a bunch of weight for that fight, and it's almost like he lost too much weight to have the energy. It was kind of like he was, he had definitely taken diuretics, which flushes out all the water out of your system. So he looked very thin at the Aloha from Hawaii, but he didn't do it the normal way. He basically starved himself of water. You take those diuretics, like boxers used to do stuff like that. 114 for Bob Weir. For Elvis Presley. Aloha from Hawaii. Make time to watch. I was a kid and I remember the broadcast. It was a big production. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Yes, I had that album in quadraphonic sound. The Aloha from Hawaii. Yes, Nicholas. It was a big deal, man. I was a kid when that came out, dude. Aloha from Hawaii, dude. I think that was viewed by more people than any broadcast in history. That was viewed by more people than anybody. So, Aloha from Hawaii on 8-track. Yes, indeed. I always thought Elvis was a thicker boy, even when young. Yeah, when he was young, dude, he was rail thin, dude. He was rail thin. Yes, keep hitting the like button, man. We're almost at 53 minutes, and I'm not sure how much overtime we'll do tonight. If you guys want to keep it going, let's do a few super chats, and I'll try to keep going as long as I can. Because this is a tragic night, the loss of Bob Weir, and I'm thankful to Paul and Mike H and Dave for moderating tonight. When we have a moment like this, and doing an AMA, you occasionally get, you got to do a little bit of moderating, and everybody's been very cool tonight. So thank you, everybody. Hit the thumbs up, because I'd like to at least get to 100 likes tonight. And hello from Dallas. Yes, Third Eye Sore. Yeah, man, it's a huge, huge loss in the music world. That's Bob Weir, dude. Bob Weir. Where do you go from this? So obviously, Dead & Company are no more. Would Dead & Company try to tour without Bob Weir? Because I think didn't the drummer of the Dead & Company, the original Grateful Dead guy, didn't he leave Dead & Company? So that then basically I think it was Bob Weir, and that was it, right? So obviously Dead & Company. So what does John Mayer do? Does John Mayer start a jam band? what does he do now? Does he go forward with his solo career? But I don't think his solo career, unless maybe he can put together some new jam band or something. Harama is saying, too bad Led Zeppelin and Phil Collins Live Aid. Yeah, that was not good. I can't blame Phil Collins completely. I can't blame Phil Collins completely like that. Jimmy Page's tone and his playing were awful. He was not in his full state of mind. And I would, back in the day, dude, I'd take Phil Collins any day. A lot of the problem with that whole thing was lack of rehearsal. And they basically flew Phil Collins in and said, here, go play with Led Zeppelin. I mean, dude. And Jimmy Page was not in his right mind, and his tone was not right. But, you know, when you're that big, they just throw you out there. Doesn't matter. It's Led Zeppelin. They should have gotten in a room and rehearsed for 3 or 4 weeks. They should have gotten him clean. They should have dialed in Jimmy's guitar tone. Zofo is saying Jimmy was never good live. Bonham made him sound good. Let's get real. Dude, there is some great... Watch the Led Zeppelin DVD. He played some amazing stuff live with Zeppelin. Is it flawless technique-wise? No. But that's the beauty of it. It's like Wabi Sabi. They were very good live. Listen to, isn't there an album called How the West Was Won? And it's recordings of Led Zeppelin playing live. Dude, that stuff is mind-blowing, dude. Chemistry of the band that makes or break, agree. Maybe riffs, but not shows. All right, if you guys will give me a minute, I'm going to be right back. All right, we're back. We are back. No, it was not guitar player. I had to tend to my familial duties. But look, man, now the mice can play. No, slow. No, 121. I do not do that. In Vegas, Elvis would shimmy his way to the side of the stage and take a bite of a big Italian hoagie mid-song. Now, Sonny, come on, man. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We don't have that kind of nonsense in here. We're paying tribute to two greats tonight, Elvis Presley and Bob Weir, and neither man was perfect, dude. But we don't need to say stuff like that. That's incorrect, Sonny. Come on, man. That's incorrect. Thank you, Dave Strong. We're going to be firm about being cool tonight. Cheers to you, guitar player. Thank you, brother. Yes, Alexa Andrick. Yes, many of these guys are getting to the age where they're not going to be here anymore. And 121's making a great point. Elvis spent too much money, absolutely, so he kept having to play shows on a crazy schedule. That's it. When he died, he had tour dates there was a show that didn't happen. And when Elvis would go to a town, it wouldn't be one show. These candy asses today go somewhere and play one night. Elvis would do 2 or 3 shows in one day. Dude. It's an automatic, thank you, Dave. You know what? We're not always this tight with our moderating, but you know what? It's time people pay some respect to a very tough business. Guitar player is saying manager stole the money. It's not so much theft as a bad contract. When you sign a deal for 50% of your earnings, it's impossible. But how do you expect Elvis, who never had any money, when he did have money, to not blow it and give it all away? You know how many cars he bought for people? He would pay off people's mortgages. He would see a story in the newspaper about some kid whose dad lost his job or mother passed away or something, and Elvis would call up and just have somebody, hey, pay off this guy's mortgage. I want these people to be all right, and not even like make a big deal of it and get the press for it or anything. He was generous to a fault. He bought people houses all the time. He bought cars. It's just crazy. And he was generous. He had a big heart. He gave back to the public, and Elvis was one of those people who said, "Without the audience, I would be nobody." And I saw somebody recently who one of his inner circle mainstay. Thank you so much, very much. This is your third super on a live stream. Mainstay, thank you. And if there's something you want to talk about tonight, or you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments, bro, because I wasn't able to. You didn't have a message in there, but yes, if there's something you want to talk about. Mark, I hear you. Look, on the one hand, if Elvis hadn't hooked up with Colonel Parker, would we even be talking about him right now? Sometimes you got to give to get ahead. Yes, we wouldn't be anywhere without fans. He could never do world tours because of some issues with the Colonel. Yes, the Colonel supposedly didn't have a visa, so he wouldn't take him out of the country where he could, he wouldn't be able to collect the gate. The Colonel and his handlers would collect the money each night, and if he can't go out of the country, and here's the thing, his inner circle wanted to take him on the road. Did you ever visit Graceland? Yes, I have been there a couple times. Did Mainstay leave a question? I don't see one. If anybody has a question, put 3 question marks at the top of your thing. Elvis should have stepped away from Parker and took the hit. May still be alive. If he'd waited too long, nothing would have fixed it. He needed to be sent to rehab and basically there until he was completely clean. Bad management. Yeah, it definitely. They were all riding the train, dude. They were all riding the Elvis train. Hey, let's put him to work. Thank you, Mainstay. Thank you so much for that super chat. And we'll keep going for a little bit longer. I appreciate that. Dude, it's been a wild 24 hours here. And without giving it away, and I'll let you guys guess what's happened. But I did a video a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago, about something that's going on in the guitar business. And that video, I'm not going to say or comment or anything. That video got seen by a very important person. And it's a testimony, dude. I almost didn't do that video. I almost just said, I'll just take a break. I'll just do something else. But instead, I did the video. I spent a lot of time on it, right? And it didn't the video didn't blow up, but it got seen by the right person. It got seen by the right person, and it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, dude. Um, the things that can happen when you have a positive attitude. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate all you guys saying the nice things in the comments. I appreciate. Thank you, Brian Marcus. Thank you, all you guys. Cause dude, everything I'm telling you, very cool stuff is happening, man. Very cool stuff. Alexander, no. The way something YouTube changed something with the live thing on the phone, and it's flipping stuff around. I'm still a right-handed guitar player. No worries. Yeah, so that's, dude, it's crazy how good things can happen, man. The hard work is slowly paying off. Now, I did today, and I'll do this for anybody out there. If you want to take a guitar lesson, you can go to my channel description. I do guitar lessons. I did a consultation today on how to do a YouTube channel. If anybody needs help with how to create videos or whatever, I'll do that as well. All of this stuff, and look, I share all kinds of knowledge on this channel. It's just what I do, man. It's just what I do. And I'm thankful to everybody that tunes in, dude, because you're tuning in because you don't know what's going to happen. Why do I get up each day and do this work? Because every now and then I'm blown away that things are happening. Dude, just today, this morning, I go on Instagram and there's a guy, Dagan Wilkins. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a bearded, like, London guitar shredder, guitar play. Thank you so much. That is amazing. I'm going to try to hit the heart here. Hit the heart. There we go. Thank you. Yes, Del Noah, things are happening, dude. It's the energy you put out. Good things happen. And so I did this short. It's on YouTube. It's on Instagram. It's on my Facebook. And I just got a killer sound out of the Synergy rig and the Helix Stadium. It's a Hendrix Trower like sound with a little bit of Black Sabbath thrown in. And I put that video up on Instagram, and that Dagan Wilkins guy liked it. That video's got over 5,000 views. He's a probably his channel, because he used to be on one of the big English guitar stores in England, but it just recently closed. So his channel is still, now he's building his own thing, but he's also on Anderton's TV. He's working with those guys. So, and then Sean Tubbs, who's a great guitar player. My Joy to the World video that I put up before Christmas, he liked that. I'm like, these are guys that I watch on YouTube. Now I'm also seeing people that I watched for a long time. I'm starting to see, dude, I've been watching this guy for a long time. I'm slowly getting more followers. The reason why someone reached out to me, needed help with their YouTube channel, is they say, I see your numbers, they keep going up. They keep going up. But look, the insane schedule that I keep working on this channel, it's insane what I'm doing here. Yeah, PMT, that's it, 121. PMT closed all stores in England. Wow, so 121, you're over in England. So you know Dagan. Dagan is a cool dude, man. He's a rocker like us. The walk and talks, all these things, dude. All this stuff that we're doing, it's paying off. But I don't expect anybody to to keep the insane work schedule that I'm doing. I think maybe I've turned it. My mom used to work 7 days a week, and maybe that's why I'm doing it now. I don't know. I'm just realizing it's up to me, man. It's up to me to do it and to provide great content for you guys. Peyton, how you doing? Paying tribute tonight to Bob Weir, Elvis Presley. That's a huge responsibility, man. And I want to thank all the Deadhead guys that joined us tonight, and people with stories about seeing the dead. Alexander is saying, I'm the type of guy to have a few beers. Well, I can testify that some of my friends in here that are here, like P Funk, I'm a fun guy to have beers with, absolutely. But I don't drink beers anymore. I've got so much I have to do. I have to get going. I have to get this channel going. Maybe someday I'll slow down and I can, kick back and have one beer every now and then. But for now, dude, I'm on this. Try and make something. I'm on the verge of something breaking, and so I gotta bear down, man. I gotta put in the work because great things are happening. So Michael says he's pulling out the Grateful Dead albums tonight, dude. Hanging out tonight and cranking some Grateful Dead. That would be an appropriate thing for tonight. Now let's get up to 100 likes. Yes, Nicholas, it's not good. It's not good. Let's get the pedal to the metal. Yes, Dave. We're going to keep the pedal down, and we don't have time for hangovers, and we don't have time for beer. Yeah, P-Funk will tell you, I was a party animal back in the day, dude. Just an absolute lunatic. Absolute lunatic for decades. So that's why I've got so much work to do now, man. I was a party animal, dude. I was a party instigator, professional party instigator. Right? So, hey, Brian, I don't plan on changing anything. I plan on putting in the work, dude. And look, even if like, it blows up, I'm still gonna do lives just like this, with an iPhone and a Black Star Polar Go, and just old school, dude. I'm just gonna do it like this. And let's see. Here's a guy asked me if I could play drunk. Dude, I could play whatever. But here's the thing. Booze is probably the worst, man. But when I was drinking, my tolerance was so high that it's like, dude, I've got motor skills for days, muscle memory. So and there was a lot of songs back in the day that I would play in Nashville that I played for decades, dude. The funk tunes and the R&B tunes and all that stuff, the Motown and all that stuff. I played it for so many years. I could play that stuff in my sleep. I could probably go do one of those gigs tomorrow and play that. So it's just 121. Well, hey man, if you're still in that, I won't judge you, bro. But I've got too much work to do to be hungover. That's when it becomes a problem. Yeah, getting sloshed at a gig will get you fired, Sonny. Party starter indeed. Plenty of others did not need the booze on top of it. Yeah, I think it just adds another issue. So, how is everybody doing? We've been here 74 minutes. Yes, Chic songs and stuff. We used to play a little bit of Chic, not a ton. Milo's. Hey, we got a lot of Milo's fans tonight. Now we're at 98 thumbs up. I'd like to get to 100 thumbs up. And unless we get the super chats popping, we're going to probably end this tonight. We've been going for 75 minutes. And here's the deal. We're going to hit the like button. We got 99 likes. We'll hit the thumbs up. We got to get to 100. We got to get to 100. And look, I'll keep going for a little bit longer, but we got to make it happen. We got 100 people in here, dude. Let's get it. Let's get the thumbs up to 100, dude. Nicholas, here's the thing, man. This is a lot of tea. I probably go through a half of one of those a day because of the insane work schedule. I did an hour-long consultation today. YouTube consultation. Oh, we got 101 likes in here. Jason's got to go to the store for the wife. I'm going to have to get out of here in a little bit and take care of Mia and do all that. You're going to get with a band in Tampa. Dorco, I don't know, dude. Oh, we got it. Cheers from Alberta, Canada. Love the channel. Guitars. Thank you, brother. We're paying tribute tonight to Bob Weir and Elvis and rock and roll and music. When you're not playing, what music are you listening to? When I'm driving to school, here's what I have on my XM radio right now. I got 60s Gold. I got Hair Nation. I got Classic Rewind. I got Ozzy channel. I got Yacht Rock. I got that channel. I got The Bridge. I've got the Jazz channel. And maybe one or two other ones. And so I'll float between all of that stuff. I'll float now. A lot of times I'm driving and my child's in the car, so some of the real heavy rock, I try not to do that. Back to the Grateful Dead. People on AID think they are enlightened and wisely explaining the universe until they hear the nonsense replay in the morning. Slow Fi. Is there a Judas Priest channel? I didn't even know if there was one. I've not. Yes, the Rainbow in LA, dude. The Rainbow, dude, it was the place to be back then. 88, 89, 1990. The Rainbow, bro. You're awesome. Thank you for sharing all the wisdom. I watch daily. Travis, thank you so much. And look, man, here's the great thing about the lives. You're all a permanent part of this show. If I name check you in the comments, 60s Gold is a great channel, Pycris says. I listened to that also. I just started listening to 60s Gold just to hear some different stuff. Okay, here's the deal, man. I got to give my child a snack, and I'll be right back. All right, come on, honey. All right, we're back. Great work, Brad. My favorite channel, Lee Sayers says, we've got bushfires here in country Melbourne. Wow, some towers knocked out and weird internet. Some places no mobile. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Lee Sayers. Shauna or Alicia's here. Yes, I had to get the fruit snacks out, and we'll be putting people to bed here. Thank you, Alicia, for dropping in tonight. We're honoring Bob Weir and talking about the new Elvis movie and having a good time here, man. Thank you so much, cover band. And here's the deal. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, unless another super chat pops in. I can't stay all night, and my moderators have been working hard tonight. So I think we're gonna wrap it up tonight. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Thank you to the moderators. Gotta go. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing night. Rest in peace, Bob Weir. Salute to Elvis Presley. And peace to all. Creative, thank you for being here. Peyton, Paul, thank you for moderating. 121, thank you for being here. Everybody, have a great day. Happy Risk. Leanne, thank you so much. Dave Strong, thank you. P Funk, have a great night, everyone. And tomorrow there will be a video at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me then. Thank you, everybody. I don't know what I'll put out tomorrow. Tune in and find out then. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.